Hey Gemini, this is for the divine masculines that are Gemini. So they could be a sun sign, moon sign, rising sign, or Venus sign, or you could be a divine feminine watching because your masculine is a Gemini. Okay. I'm going to do this, and we're going to look at the overall energy of the connection between the two of you right now. It's going to be one of those days, I feel, where the cards just like to fall. Okay, on the ground. And so I'm getting these two cards, success and release. So I feel like I'm going to put release here. There was a reason I was stuck on the word fall, I guess, because it's the fall leaves. But I feel like the two of you are shedding certain aspects of yourself, your life, your connection, maybe just old things that needed to die off in order to be reborn is what I'm hearing. Okay, so but there's going to be success in that. I feel like we're kind of all doing that as a collective, but it's very prevalent. I feel like there was a resistance before to letting go. There was a resistance. I don't know if it was old beliefs or I don't know if it was old beliefs or... Okay, let's get a card for you, divine masculine. Okay, so we have the Lovers, which is a Gemini card, but it's a decision. Okay, I feel like you're in a place where you're needing to make a decision, perhaps in regards to your love life, or even what I'm getting is more of a decision to bring more love into your life. Okay, let's get a card for your divine feminine. Okay, so we have the Eight of Wands. Okay, so they could have Sagittarius in their chart. But this is very quick moving energy. We do have a Four of Swords on the bottom, so I feel like there's kind of like this healing period you guys are in. That's also Libra energy. But I feel like when your divine feminine makes a decision, they're very quick about it. Like they're very, it's not rash, but it's actually very but I feel like you take a little bit more time to make your decisions, and there could be a discrepancy there, but I feel like once they've made a decision, they're all in. Like they're just, and that could be very much a Libra energy coming through. But I feel like there's some hesitation on your end, almost maybe even a choice between two people. Also a choice maybe between two realities. One that you're familiar with and one that you're not familiar with. One that you're not really sure is possible. Okay, I want to see how you're feeling about your divine feminine, your Gemini. Okay, we have walking away. So I feel like your divine feminine perhaps may have walked away from you at some point or multiple times. I'm hearing, but I feel you also do that. You guys walk away from each other when you just don't know how it's going to work. So I feel like this whole release bit is surrendering to the universe and letting it do the heavy lifting instead of you feeling like you have to figure things out all the time. Okay. How is your divine feminine feeling about you? Oh, interesting. So healing feminine wounds. Okay, so you either brought out some feminine wounds in them, or they see you as struggling with some feminine wounds, perhaps with your mom. There might be some stuff happening with your mom, but they see you as somebody that can persevere through pretty much anything. Like maybe you've been through a lot, divine masculine. I feel like they do want to communicate, but they're not really, it's not... Gemini doesn't want to be seen. Okay. Which we know is not true, but they want to communicate, but it's almost like every idea they have to communicate just goes out the window. Like there's no, like just like the wind is blowing these leaves away, like it's just not solid yet. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's just where you guys are at. There's no, doesn't mean it's going to be like this forever. Okay. Very interesting. Okay, so I want to see how you're seeing your divine feminine. Oh, hold on. There's some here. There it is. Boat. Okay. So receiving what you need, progression, arriving, moving on, closure issues. Very interesting. So it's funny because I get the energy like you both feel like you have to close the chapter on this connection, or you keep trying to close the chapter on this connection, but you can't because it's your connection. And I think, you know, and maybe I'll get a lot of people mad at me for this, but I feel like you just keep closing it because it's too hard to imagine how this is going to work. And that's what you have to surrender to the universe. You're not meant to figure that out. You're meant to just be open to the possibilities, okay? So how's your divine feminine seeing you? Oh, is the runner. Yeah. Interesting though, because I feel like your divine feminine might run a little bit from you as well. And it's not out of fear. I feel your divine feminine is very self-sacrificing and would rather sacrifice their own love than to make your life hard. So I think you're both kind of like that. You both have this really beautiful, genuine love for one another. But it's almost like you're thinking too much. You're too much in your heads about it instead of feeling into your hearts, and that's normal. But we have listening to ego, right? The protective ego. And it's not to judge. It's not to judge yourselves, not to judge yourselves over this, just to understand that there's more going on, more than you have control over. And I mean, everything's happening for a reason. So again, there's no judgment with what you guys have decided, what you're going to decide. It all has a purpose, but it's to understand, to try and understand the purpose, okay? I want to get an energy of where this connection is going before we get into guidance, okay? Openness, yeah. Yeah, you're shifting into a place of openness. It's almost like once you release all of those leaves from the trees and... sorry, I'm just going to move this up just a skosh. You can see that better. It's almost like all of these dense leaves weren't allowing you to be open to the possibilities. So I really feel like you guys are going to be shifting into a place of being more open and receptive to what the universe has to offer you. Okay, I'm going to get a guidance piece, and then we'll get messages from your divine feminine to you, as well as a song from them to you. Okay, what do we have here? Know your inner dialogue. Yeah, how are you talking to yourselves especially about this connection? It's almost like knowing you want it, but not feeling like society would never accept it, or you wouldn't know how to explain it to people, or people just won't understand, and not wanting to deal with that drama. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's understanding what's kind of holding you up. So the Page of Swords asks you to reflect on how you communicate, or is recognizing that you are. So this card is about being able to reflect on your choices honestly, but in this case, more about how you talk to yourself. How you see and interact with yourself will have a direct correlation to how you see and interact with others. So I am open to see how I learned to communicate with myself. Okay, so were you surrounded by people who had a hard time hoping, or had a hard time with the possibilities of of magic, were you surrounded by people who didn't really get what they wanted in life, so they kind of passed that on to you? Like, where does your inner dialogue come from, Gemini? Okay. All right, so let's get some messages from your divine. Oh, feminine, look at that. I want a life with you, but I'm scared of what all that really means, what that all really means, right? So there's a fear here of what that really means. What does it mean for the two of you to be together, right? Face those fears, because I don't believe there's anything to fear. I think it's all just judgment of self. But I'm figuring out how to clear the energy for us both so that we can finally come together. So your divine feminine, despite the fear, is still very hopeful for the two of you. Like, it's not like she forgot about you any more than you've forgotten about her. And I say her, but she could be a man. There's no gender here. So I am being triggered by some childhood wounds, but I'm working through that. So there's some awareness on your divine feminine's behalf of recognizing where their childhood wounds are affecting the connection between the two of you. Okay. All right. And last, let's get a song, a channeled song, pull a song. Oh, okay. Now or never. That's an interesting choice, Divine Feminine, for you. It's an interesting choice from your Divine Feminine. So your Divine counterpart wants you to know that they are going through a lot and need to go within to find themselves again, but they aren't running away anymore, and they know that the time to make changes is now. Look at that, the runner. Okay, the runner, but they're not running anymore, Divine Masculine. So I think you guys need to give yourselves a good pat on the back, because that's a huge shift and a huge awareness and a big step in bravery. So I hope this has helped. Be your peace, love yourself, share your light. If you like this reading and you want to be notified, please make sure you hit the subscribe button with the bell. I'm trying to play by YouTube's rules, so here we go. Have a good one, and